There's some graffiti writers out there that think they'll never get caught. They think they're smarter than everyone else. They think they've got everything figured out. But the reality is, every year, graffiti writers get identified, investigated, fined, and arrested, or even charged because of mistakes they didn't realize they were making. And the crazy thing is, a lot of the time, it isn't some advanced police investigation that gets them caught. It's something quite simple, something avoidable, something they did to themselves. So today we're looking at 10 reasons why graffiti writers get caught. Number 1. Telling too many people. One of the fastest ways for a graffiti writer to get in trouble is by telling too many people what they're doing. A lot of people get excited after a mission. They want to tell their friends, they want to tell somebody at school or work, they want to brag about it. But the problem is, every person you tell creates another chance for information to spread. Maybe they tell someone else, maybe they accidentally mention it, maybe a friendship ends badly and they have this information. The more people who know something, the harder it is to keep a secret. And throughout history, countless graffiti writers have been exposed because someone else talked. Not because investigations were done, but because someone couldn't keep their mouth shut. Number 2, going back to the same spot. Some graffiti writers find a spot they love. Maybe it's easy to access, maybe it's highly visible, maybe they're painted there many times before and think it's all good. So they keep going back again and again and again. The problem is, patterns are easy to notice. Security notice patterns, property owners notice patterns, residents sometimes notice those patterns as well. The more predictable someone becomes, the easier they become to identify. A lot of graffiti writers end up creating their own route without even realizing it, and routes are exactly what people notice. Number 3, posting too much online. Social media changed graffiti forever. Years ago, most graffiti only existed locally. Today, one photo can reach thousands of people instantly, but social media has also created problems. Some graffiti writers post everything, every tag, every throw up, every piece, every mission, sometimes minutes after it happens. And while sharing photos might seem harmless, people often reveal far more information than they realize. The background details, the locations and the patterns and dates and times, connections, sometimes even their own identity. The internet remembers everything, and that's something many people learn the hard way. Number 4, hanging around too long. One of the biggest mistakes people make in general is staying somewhere longer than it's necessary. The longer someone remains in one location, the greater chance that something unexpected happens. A witness appears, security show up, a vehicle passes, a resident notices something unusual. Most people understand this concept, but the more time spent in one place, the greater the chances of being noticed. And many writers end up getting into trouble simply because they stay longer than they originally intended. Number 5, underestimating cameras. Years ago, surveillance cameras were relatively uncommon, but today they're absolutely everywhere. Businesses have them, homes have them, traffic system has them, even public transport has them. Many people still behave as if though cameras don't exist, but modern cities are filled with surveillance technology. And while cameras don't always provide perfect evidence, they often provide enough information to help identify patterns, clothing, vehicles, or movements. A lot of people don't realize just how much of modern life gets recorded. Number 6, being recognizable. Some people stand out. Maybe it's their clothing or their hairstyle, maybe it's something else entirely. But the problem is, humans are surprisingly good at recognizing patterns. People remember unusual details, especially if they see them repeatedly. And when someone becomes highly recognizable, it becomes easier for witnesses to remember them. A lot of people think they're anonymous, but keeping anonymous is much harder than it seems. Number 7, chasing attention. Some graffiti writers become obsessed with attention. They want bigger spots, more visibility, more recognition, more photos, more followers, more fame. And while attention can feel rewarding, attention works both ways. The more people notice you, you're more likely to have the wrong attention. Because obviously, the more visible someone becomes, the harder it is to remain unknown. Number 8, leaving evidence behind. One of the oldest ways people get connected to activities is by leaving things behind. A dropped item, a forgotten object, something left at a location. Human beings make mistakes. Everybody does. And throughout history, countless investigations have been helped by simple oversights. The smallest mistake can sometimes create the biggest problems, especially when somebody assumes they'll never make one. Number 9, thinking they're untouchable. Success can create overconfidence. Somebody gets away with something once, then twice, then 10 times, then 100 times. Eventually, they start believing that they're invincible, untouchable. They stop being extra careful, they stop paying attention to things, they stop considering consequences. And that's often when mistakes happen. Not because they're inexperienced, but because they got way too confident. Many people don't get caught because they're unlucky. They get caught because they start believing nothing will end up happening. And number 10, getting comfortable. The longer somebody does something, the easier it becomes to relax, easier to ignore risks. It's easier to assume everything will be fine. People stop paying attention. They stop critically thinking. They stop noticing any warning signs. Comfort creates complacency, and complacency creates mistakes. If you look at stories throughout history, whether it's sports, business, crime, or anything else, one pattern appears over and over again. People often run into trouble when they become too comfortable. Not when they're nervous, not when they're cautious, but when they're comfortable, when their guard is down. And that's what's interesting, is that most of these reasons aren't unique to graffiti alone. They're human mistakes, patterns, overconfidence, attention, comfort, and poor decisions. The reality is people usually imagine some dramatic story when somebody gets caught doing graffiti, but more often than not, it comes down to simple mistakes that build up over time, and eventually those mistakes catch up with them. What's the biggest mistake a graffiti writer can make? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and have a good one. Massive shout out to my channel members: Spookify, STVNSF, or I believe it's Steven, Sardo is Love, Jamin Newell or Newell, Hank 0555, Girl Comma or Girl Coma, basically Brain Dead, Rap Luz, Stay Home, Mona Halaka, Mona Huckler or Mona Hackler. Thank you all for being channel members.